Welcome to Ask Hypnotica 52. Today we're going to be talking about going vegan. All right, so some of you guys aren't into it. Next, go to 53 next week. All right. Actually, if you are eating meat and you want a little bonus, go to hypnotica.org, and then up on the right hand side there is a button. Just because this isn't going to be into you, I'm going to give you a free product of the Collection of Confidence. So go there and do that, and just right up to the right you'll see it. Okay, it says April Fools. That's for the meat eaters out there. Anyways, so my name is Christopher, and I'm from Norway. Appreciate your work. Please keep it up. I really enjoy your free videos on YouTube. He's made fire cider from my fire cider video. Good. Fire cider is awesome. My favorite drink. He's even now making rhodiola. Great. Another good adaptogen that's going to really kind of help benefit you in lots of different ways and things like that. But here's his question. How to start going vegan. I'm going to break this down a little bit because this is he's talking about a lot of stuff here. He wants to be vegan. He's studied this for a while and he knows it's the right thing. His wife's pregnant and he wants to be able to feed his kids all the best when that time comes. Health is very important to me and my wife. We work out every day. We do martial arts twice a week and we look good physically, but we eat meat. I buy the meat from a fish and local farmer and fisherman, and I buy organic greens, but I want to stop with the meat and I do need help. I know, and I've Googled vegan meals, but the thing is, I set a goal for myself for about 1 month to go vegan about 6 months ago. I did it, but I felt like shit all the time. Let me just stop right there. This is the biggest reason why a lot of people don't go vegan, because they feel like shit in the first month. Listen to me, and I want to make this real clear, okay? Because a lot of guys completely fuck this thing up, and they're like, oh, I'm this and this and this. It's excuses. If you do vegan eating properly, it is by far the healthiest way to go. I don't give a shit, okay? I used to be a meat eater, and I'm still stronger than most of the guys out there, okay? So I'm going to put that premise up there. If someone's telling you you need to eat meat, okay, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, all right? There's a lot of studies now out that say this. That's why a lot of the Olympic athletes, I'm not going to say most yet, but a lot of the Olympic athletes and the best runners and endurance runners are all going vegan. Why? Because it doesn't tax the shit out of your body and all the other health benefits that go with it. So I'm going to go for it. This is the main reason why people screw up. When you go vegan, okay, you start introducing real food into your diet. You start probably working out, you start eating properly, you start drinking water properly, and guess what? Your body starts to lose weight, okay? And it starts to purge the toxins. So it's like your body's pretty smart. It wants to punish you a little bit. It's like, motherfucker, you did this to me. I'm going to punish you a little bit, okay? And every time you get cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, the side effects or the lack of energy or the toxicity in your body gets less and less, so you don't feel as bad. But expect probably on and off the first month, maybe 2 months, depending on how much or how fat you have been, expect to feel up and down. Some days you're going to have shitty ass energy, but that's what happens when you don't do what your body wants. You probably spent, I don't know how old you are. Let's just say you're 30. 30 years probably putting processed food in your stomach. And all of a sudden now you're going to start eating healthy and you expect your body just to be like, okay, here we go. Okay, well, where do you think all the toxins are that are stored up in your fat go? They go into your bloodstream, which gets processed by your liver, and your liver is probably working extra hard at that point in time when you switch to things. So when a lot of people say, I feel like shit, that's probably one of the biggest reasons. Now, if you can get past that, which you can, I know chicks that have done it, lots of girls, and I have done it, and lots of people can do it. A lot of people are just like, that's it, man. Nope, I'm going back to the old way because that's what they're used to, okay? That's small thinking, okay? Going back to what you're used to, even though it's convenient, all right? It's what you're used to. It's a safe way to be. And I'm sure a lot of people get pissed off at me. As a matter of fact, probably my friend Jade right now, who is probably listening to this, is do that. She said, I just did a green juice fast. Fuck this shit. I feel like hell. I'm grumpy. Duh. Okay, your body's getting taxed the shit out of it because it's dumping all those toxins you put in. I know you party, Jade. All right, you were one of the crazy ones. All right, well, there's a couple Jades. It's something about Jades at parties, wild and crazy. I don't know, maybe like Jade, crazy, to the rhyme somewhere. But a lot of the Jades I know, they had their moments. All right. So like I said, this is one of the main things. Now, the other part is most people, when they go vegan, they're not eating enough substance. They're not eating enough calories, okay? And so maybe they'll do a little bit of lettuce and tofu and shit like this, okay, which is not really healthy. Tofu is not all that healthy. But remember, you got to get past that first month, okay? And I'm all about bridging. I am not one of these guys, okay, because I didn't get that way. It took me pretty much 5 years, and I still sometimes slip up and bounce off and go into Pizza Hut, okay? It's like cheese, sometimes I just dick myself with cheese, okay? And then I'm screwed for like a week trying to get back on track. But the main thing is this. When you're eating, you have to have substance, okay? You have to have your oils. Your oils are essential. So anyone that tells you that fats are no good, okay? Animal fats and saturated fats from animal products, they're no good, okay? The things that you get processed, they're no good. All right, what I like to stick with as far as fats, you get a lot of fats from nuts. You got your walnuts, your Brazil nuts, your macadamia nuts, sunflower nuts. If you're gay, you probably have hairy nuts, all right? But you can't swallow those. Well, maybe you could swallow them, just probably can't get them down too far. And if you get them down to your belly, then I'm sure that dude's missing something important. And you're probably just going to have a stomach ache, okay? But that's different. That's a whole different subject, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. You have to have the substance. So you have to have your, like I said, your oils, and you have to have a good quality protein. Now, I do supplement with a protein. I go with Sun Warrior protein, and I only do about 60 grams of protein a day. I know a lot of bodybuilders, they're all conditioned and brainwashed, like 1.5 grams per body weight. So I'm doing 300 grams of protein. That's ridiculously dumb. The people, they got in your head and they're making you buy way more than you need. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger just came out and said he doesn't eat that much. Reg Park, he was one of the greatest, he's a vegan bodybuilder from way back in the 50s. He's one of the first original strongmen. Look him up. He does like about 70 grams, okay? 70 grams is pretty good. And if you're doing it from food sources like your legumes or your chickpeas or your lentils and things like that, all right, that's a lot of roughage. So you got to do this, okay? You got to soak your beans, nuts, legumes, get rid of the natural inhibitors. That's like the natural protectants that plants have on them so that animals don't eat them and insects don't eat them. Rinse them off overnight, soak them, then rinse them off, make sure they're real good so all those weird chemicals and saponins don't get in your belly. All right. Then what you got to understand that you haven't really eaten a lot of real roughage. All right. So your intestines are probably a little bit out of shape as far as that goes. So when you put real food in, sometimes people can get gas like this because your intestines are just used to processed foods. So there is a little, issues there if you're like learning that you fart a lot. All right. Sometimes, I mean, trust me, when I first started, I was like, oh man, like I have to open my door literally. Okay, and do that. But once you get over that and you get used to it, you're good to go. All right, so that's the main thing. Now, the supplementation, because you do ask me a little bit later on about supplementation. As a vegan, okay, this is what I supplement with. I only, all right, so I want to make sure real clear. First of all, I do iodine with kelp. Okay, iodine's extremely important for your thyroid and things like this. So I do iodine, I do selenium. Okay, you don't get a lot of selenium, but it's one of the best things for your brain. I do zinc. Okay, zinc's very important, especially if you're a highly sexual man. Zinc's great, but you can also get that in good qualities in your mung beans and your pumpkin seeds. Next, the next thing I supplement with is B12. Now, listen, a lot of people can say vegans don't have B12. Meat eaters don't have B12. Most everyone. Actually, vegans have 6% more B12 than the average meat eater. So everybody, I'm telling you, this is one of the best things that you can do for your nervous system and your brain functioning, B12. But it has to come back. B12 is not a vitamin, okay? Now, people are going to go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I know what I'm talking about. It's actually a bacteria, okay? So it's a B12 bacteria. It's got to be an active source of bacteria. That's what helps break it down to B12. So they just call it B12, but get an active source, okay? And that'll help you out a lot. So that's really all I really do as far as my own supplementation. I take some B vitamins as well. But this is all whole food supplementation, meaning it's not synthetic, all right? It's whole food, so your body, and there's cofactors in your body's like, I know what this is. This is real food, and it just instantly absorbs it. Now, when you're doing that, I would always increase your fats first. If you're an athletic and stuff like this, increase your fats, get your calories up as far as that goes. Now, a lot of people ask me about getting big and being a vegan. You got to understand, first, genetics is king. That's just the way it is, okay? I had a big dad. I'm a big guy. So I have that going for me. And I also have 30 years of working out. And to tell you the truth, I mean, I've done a lot of stuff. I mean, like I said, I'm very experimental. I've done full stacks of steroids before in the past when I was up to, like right now I'm about 215. Okay, I was up to 280 pounds at one point in time. Like I was a monster ox. Like I would just roar. Okay, but it was super uncomfortable and it was super unhealthy and things like that. But you know what? I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. I'm going to live my life and I want to experiment and find out what it was. Overall, no bueno. Just thought I'd put that on the table. So I have a good size base with me. And I'll also tell you this. After, I think it was around 37, okay, I went to a TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. Now, it's one of those controversial things, but you know what? If your testosterone is going to drop over age, I ain't having it, okay? I work in a highly sexual workplace, and I like my sex drive. rocking. So that's nature says, you know what, after 30, actually it's after like 18, it starts declining a little bit. I ain't having it. So I don't do a lot. I do what a natural thing would be, a biological source of testosterone, and I keep that. So I keep my mass up a little bit that way. So I'm not going to bullshit you, but I'm going to tell you that's the real thing that's going on, as far as, you know, maybe it could be my size. But when I look at pictures of when I was completely off of it and completely on it, maybe 5-10 pounds, a little bit different, okay, not a lot. All right, so I just want to be clear about this, because I'm not about bullshitting you, and so that could be some of it. Don't know. It's one of those things. I'd rather side on the era of feeling good and being athletic and having high vitality. So if you're interested in that, go see your doctor. There's a lot of life extensionist doctors out there that will help you out, but that's just my opinion. So here's the thing that I want you to understand also. Okay, what I just read and what he's talking about is there's not a lot of vegan meals. Yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of vegan meals that are good. Okay, I have loads of, I can't really call them cookbook, because you don't really cook them if you're doing like raw food or you're doing live food. But there's a lot of recipes, and what I would do is I go into Amazon. You bought them for like $2.99, and I have a whole bunch, and I go through them and I'll try out one. My wife will make some, try them out, and I'll be like, all right, this one sucked, this one sucked. And then what I do is I get the ones that I like, and I'm like, check, I like that one. I just put the number in the very front of the book, and I go, okay, page 315, I like this. And I'm taking all these and I'm putting it into my own little eat book as far as good healthy things. And there's some really, really good ones, and there's some ones that just suck. All right, so you got to transition. And listen, it's called bridging. All right, so I don't recommend you just go full on vegan and just go for it, okay? Because it's overwhelming. It took me 5 years to get here, and every health guru that I've talked to says it takes about 5 years to get there. There are going to be your extreme people that just go one day, just that's it. Okay, you can do that, but I'm saying I'm pretty average as far as, you know, adapting and adjusting to things. And so what I did is just cut out, instead of milk, hey, I got almond milk, hemp milk, things like this. Now, if it was cheese, I'd go, they have like almond cheese and things like this. So I'd slowly transition out of it. And if you're drinking Coke, okay, switch to water, green juices. All right, take your time with this, all right? Because like I said, it could drive you crazy, and you want every part of your life to integrate properly and without stress, okay? Because stress can work against you. And that could be another reason why you're feeling like shit, because you're like, oh, I'm so stressed out trying to eat perfectly. I have to be perfect. Okay, there is no perfection. There's only improvement over time, okay? And make sure that you go slow and enjoy it. And so I'm going to go back to his thing here. Please tell me what you eat and how you eat it. Now, I'm all about intermittent fasting. So I eat at 12 noon, my first meal, and I eat from 12 to about 8 p.m. Now, some days I only eat between 12 and 4. And what happens is at 12 o'clock, your hydrochloric acid in your stomach is at the highest. So that's what I eat. Most people go breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks all throughout the day. It's actually one big meal that they're eating over time. But my understanding is this, okay? From 11 o'clock at night to about, 11 in the morning, that's when your body's cleansing, it's rebuilding itself with all the nutrients. And so this is when it's purging toxins out of your body. The worst thing you can do is have breakfast, I think, okay? And when you have breakfast, what it does, it takes an amazing amount of calories, a huge amount of calories to break down a meal. So you first get up and you're ready to go, and all of a sudden it's like, brr. We're all going to send all the blood down your stomach, and it's going to process this meal. And so a lot of people get tired. I'm telling you right now, when I don't eat, I do my workout in the morning. I am really looking forward to that 12 o'clock meal, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy my next meal, and then I enjoy, if I'm doing it in that little span, my next meal, and then I'm good to go. I have way much more amounts of energy in the morning than without it, okay? I get my workouts done. It's just like your body comes out, and it's just like, okay, cool, we're going to detoxify, and then you wake up, and then you go get your shit done. You're very focused. Think about this in the morning. A lot of people drink coffee and things like this. It's basically to like amp their energy up. It's like false energy. It's synthetic energy. Well, not really synthetic. It can be, if you're doing like Red Bulls or little pre-workout drinks and stuff like this. But basically, it's like this. I eat between 12 and 8 o'clock in there. Okay, and then I fast for the rest of the time. And there's a lot of scientific evidence that's coming out that as you fast, you can release growth hormone up to, I think, 2,000%. Now, I also do high intensity, which helps raise my growth hormone up. And growth hormone really, it's maybe mislabeled. It's not really be called growth hormone. It should be called the youthful hormone. So when you do that, and then I have my little protein powders, and I do stuff like this, and I work out, intense when I work out, okay? I'm just not going in there and pushing. Like 45 minutes, I'm in and out of that gym like that, okay? And I hit, and I go from one thing to another, so I'm constantly in motion. I don't sit around like these idiots sit there, and they text, and they take a set, and they do this. No. I go from like chest, I'll go over, do calves, I'll do my neck, I'll go over, do my stomach, I'll do lower back, I'll do all things in between, all right? So I'm always constantly moving, so I'm in and out of there. What else do you think here? Now, he's also talking about what do I put in my green juices and why. I'm not going to go into that, okay, because I have all kinds of combinations depending on what I'm feeling, but I'm going to tell you my bases, and these are my bases. Cucumber and celery. That's going to be your base. That's going to be most of the liquid, okay, that you want. And then what I do is I also put in, I have a garden, so I put in kale, I put in turmeric, I put in ginger, I put in sprouts, usually sunflower sprouts, wheatgrass, green pea sprouts, all right? So that's the base, but I build all around that. I can put in all kinds of things. I can squirt lemon juice in there. I can put jalapeno peppers in there, all right? But what I said about my base is that's that, all right? And that's like instant food for your body, okay? Your body loves that. If you do that in the morning, and just understand this, okay? Because a lot of people totally screw this up. And I talked about it earlier. When you do a green juice and you start eating healthy with this, your body's like, finally, it starts releasing the toxins into your system. So a lot of people on one plan, your body's like, cool, we're now getting some good health. We're going to start purging this crap out because it wants to get to work instantly. It's like, let's get shit done. It's kind of a catch-22 because you're purging. And so your mind's saying, I should be feeling better because I'm eating this healthy green drink. But your liver is like, hey, man, dude, there's a lot of toxins in there. Let's get this shit out. The liver's like the workhorse. He's like the project manager. He's like, come on, get to work. Let's go. Let's get this shit out of the way. You punished it for 20, 30 years, okay? I want this shit done. Okay, he's a no bullshitter. All right, so you listen to your liver. So that's the trick, okay? A lot of people don't feel that way. I'm saying you have to give at least 2 months. 2 months of eating this way to really feel your energy really spark and rise if you're doing it right. If you really want to get the toxins out of you, get an infrared sauna because that's one of the best ways to get toxins. Like 80% of the sweat when they tested it is toxins. It's the number one way to get toxins out of your body, letting you know. As far as vitamins, I kind of went through that. I don't do a lot of them. Now, as far as my herbs, I do tinctures. As far as like herbs, I do my urethro, which is like Siberian ginseng. I do rhodiola. I do schizandra berries. I do pine pollen, which has plant sterols in there, which also can help, build your mass up and your strength and things like this. So these are the things that I do. And if I was going to eat for 1 day a week, it would be this, all right? Now, I'm all about, I will do a green drink in the morning. So I'm going to give you the perfect day, okay? Wake up, do a green drink, okay? Wait till 12 o'clock, go to the gym. Wait till 12 o'clock and have a good meal. And it could be, let's just say, a lentil chili soup. And I have a great recipe for that. Eat that there. I'll throw some nuts in there with it as well. Not the hairy kind, but like, pumpkin seeds or walnuts and things like this. So I eat that, then I feel good. Okay, the fats are basically what satisfies, so you don't get all hungry. Okay, it helps balance the blood sugar, and so does protein. So maybe an hour after that, I'll do a scoop of protein. I'll make like a little shake, and in my shake, I do like a pea protein shake, chocolate pea protein shake. All right, but I put in bee pollen, and I make it taste good because I'm still satisfying that urge. I put a little stevia in there to sweeten it up, and then I'm good to go again. Then later, maybe I'll have another meal, and it could be like a spaghetti squash pesto plate of spaghetti that's made out of squash, and put it through the little spiralizer and stuff like that. I put a lot of the good olive oil or flaxseed oil or walnut oil on there, and man, I'm good to go. And then I stop. Okay, and then in between I can also do a green drink, and then I could do a green drink later before I go to bed. That's the perfect meal right there. Right? That's the perfect day. If I do that, I'm shedding the fat, I'm feeling amazing, and that is the perfect day. So that's kind of what I'm giving you there. Now, you also say, please help you get started. I've just given you a good way to get started. Pace yourself. I know a lot of people trust the vegan lifestyle, but they're also afraid to get started because of the lack of knowledge. That's it. It's all about the lack of knowledge. If you lack the knowledge, you're going to try it out, and you're probably not going to do too well. Just like anything in life, all right? If you don't know, we've been bred up to be consumers, and we've been consuming all kinds of processed food. This is something that we've been doing since the beginning of time, okay? But we lost ourselves a little bit. We got lost, okay? Now a lot of people are starting to come back to it and just realize that it is a balancing point. So pace yourself. You got to study. It took me a good 2 years to really get to the point where I really understand it. But it's worth it, especially when you have that knowledge and you have a kid, you can really know what to do. And I'm going to tell you a couple other things, right? Since you're going to have a kid, make sure the most important thing that your wife can do is omega-3s, okay? Get her a good flaxseed or a chia seed, hemp seed. Make sure she's doing her walnuts because that is huge for baby brain development. And another thing to watch out for also, because a lot of baby clothes are fire retardant, not a good thing because guess what? Babies, they suck on clothing and they take the chemicals directly into their brain. All right, so I just want you to be aware of that. There are also a lot of things that you can do to protect your baby and your wife so she doesn't come out and have postpartum depression. And the omega-3s are really going to combat that in a lot of ways. So one last thing I want to tell you, remember, everything that I told you today was complete bullshit. Okay? You can eat as much meat as you want. It's going to be healthy for you. They just came out with new statistics, and that's the way it is. I was wrong. April Fools, I'm never wrong. With that, if you have a question, send it to askhypnotica@gmail.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Hypnotica out.